Hey, horror fans, yes, it is me, the Horror Miser Monty G. Yes, time to continue my Women in Horror Month series, Black Final Girls. And today we're going to talk about Naomie Harris from 28 Days Later. Yes. Now, just a small brief over 28 Days Later was a 2002 British post-apocalyptic horror film that was directed by Danny Boyle, written by Alex Garland, and it actually starred Naomie Harris along with Cecilia Murphy and Christopher Eccleston. It was a different take of the zombie subgenre, as we had running zombies, but they were not zombies. They were called infected, but I'll talk about that later. And the plot involves about the breakdown about society when an accident release of a viral called the Rage virus spread throughout London. And the focus is on the four survivors, one of them being Naomie Harris' character, Selena. Now, we are focusing on her today because, really, we really don't see a lot of black final girls in this type of subgenre, the viral outbreak or the zombie subgenre. And I'll be talking about that and, of course, discussing Naomie Harris's role, how she portrayed the role, how the role defined more black women in this type of subgenre in horror films. So today's topic will be Naomie Harris in 28 Days Later. Now, as I stated before, when it comes to zombies or viral infection horror movies, we don't have a lot of black final girls in them. Yes, we had Dwayne Jones from 9/11 Dead and Kevin Foray from Dawn of the Dead, but we really never saw a black actress as the protagonist in a zombie film. They mainly been portrayed as, voodoo priestess, or they're sub characters and eventually die, or they're not really minor characters, not the actual protagonist in the film. But we've had some changes recently. Now, what I mean by changes is with the success of Michonne from The Walking Dead and the character Warren from Z Nation, we now have strong black women playing leads in roles of this subgenre. But I'm here to talk about Naomie Harris, who played Selena in the zombie outbreak film 28 Days Later. Now let's get one thing straight. The zombies, let's have zombies, in this movie are not zombies. They're infected with the rage virus. So, or what happens is these people, as we saw in the beginning of the film, we see these animal activists try to free these monkeys in their cages, not realizing that they were infected with rage. The guy was talking about, in order to cure something, we have to understand them. I understand what the activists were trying to do. They thought they were trying to hurt the monkey. So unfortunately, the monkey bit the girl. She gets the virus, and next thing you know, she spreads to all of them, and that's how the virus spread. Now, basically, what it does, it turns people into violent homicidal killers, and they don't eat anyone. Yeah, they might bite you, but they merely just bite you or split blood up because they're full of rage. Their whole body is just filled with adrenaline, and that's why they run. Even when they get shot, they still run. I think there was one scene the guy had his arm cut off, and he was still running. I thought that was funny, but case in point, these are not zombies. They were never zombies. They don't eat anyone like zombies do. All they are is just infected with a viral infection that causes them to turn them into violent homicidal killers, and that's it. Now, in this particular movie, Selena and Mark encounter bicycle courier Jim, played by Cillian Murphy, 28 days after the virus outbreak has shut down London and its surrounding areas. There's a great scene where Cillian Murphy is walking on the London Bridge near Big Ben, and there's absolutely no one. Now, I thought it was a great scene because I remember them saying they actually closed off the whole entire area to make it look like it was completely deserted. Now, you have to get the filmmakers credit for filming that scene. Now, eventually, Selene educates Jim on what's happening and gives him the rules of how to survive in this new world, about making sure you don't travel at night, make sure that you stay with somebody, make sure you avoid make sure you do any type of cuts, because one drop of blood gets into your system, you become infected, and it takes about 10 seconds before you turn. No, I love how Naomi plays Selena. She's no nonsense. She's take no prisoners, a strong black woman who won't hesitate to kill someone, as she does with Mark when he is possibly infected after fighting off some of the infected. It's a nice scene. They're in Cillian Murphy's parents' house. They're staying. Unfortunately, he lights candles up. A couple of the infected see it. They crash into the house. Mark and Selena fights them, and all of a sudden, Mark has a gun in his hand. He screams he's not, but Selena's not going to take any chances since he brutally kills him. I thought it was a great scene. And let you know that Selena is no joke and she takes no prisoners and she's going to do whatever she needs to do in order to survive. Now, we also see her carrying a softer side when she and Jim meet up with Frank and his daughter Hannah later in the film. They eventually bond very well together. She starts to take Hannah and a nice we see bonds very well with Hannah, and we also see her get along better with Jim because at first they kind of butt heads at the beginning, probably because she's obviously lost some people just as anyone else has lost people in this world, and now after being with Jim for a while and being with Hannah and her father Frank, she seems to be showing some of her softer side that we have not seen before, and I thought it was a nice way for the character to grow and see her bond with these other characters in the film. And it's probably because she doesn't want anyone to see her vulnerable side, especially during one scene where the gang decides to leave London, travel to a military blockade, and they encounter, I believe, I don't know if it's an infected baby or it's an infected child or a boy. I forget the scene. If someone can remind me, let me know about that. Now, they're all kind of weirded out because they know they have to kill the kid, and I think she and Jim hesitate to do this deed, but they know they must in order to survive because obviously the boy could infect them. But you can see that she's reluctant, or both her and Jim are reluctant to kill a kid, but they have to. That's one of the things that you have to do in this type of world. You may not want to do it, but you do have to do it. And we see that she does have a vulnerable side. Another great scene is Selena's reaction when the truth regarding Captain West's radio broadcast about the military blockade and the safe haven. It was basically just a ruse to lure women for his men. He feels as though they have to repopulate the world because they think the world is dead. So he decided to have that radio broadcast to lure women in so his men can have sex or basically rape them. I guess that's what he thought they was going to do. She does fight back and she does her best to protect Hannah from Wes's men. I thought that was a nice, pitiful scene. And eventually, when they are finally forced to do what they need to do because they threaten Jim's life, she lets make sure that Hannah's not going to be the first one. She's going to do it herself first. And I thought that was a great way for a character to make sure that Hannah stays protected. And but then again, you really want to kill West and his men too for being the dicks that they are in this particular part of the movie. Now, after 28 weeks later, Naomi has gone on to star in some blockbuster movies such as The Pirates of the Caribbean's Dead Man's Chest and At World's End. And believe it or not, she's now the new Money Penny in Daniel Craig's run of James Bond since Skyfall. She's going to be back as Money Penny and the latest James Bond film, No Time to Die. I thought this pretty good if we have Black Money Penny. Now, as I stated before, we've seen some other black actresses such as Lupita Nyong'o in Little Monsters, where she was the protagonist in that zombie horror film. And I'm pretty sure we're going to get more black actresses, hopefully, to star in zombie films, although I feel as though that the zombie subgenre is starting to run its course. But because, as we all know, I can't pronounce her name, Diana Garego, wherever her name is, that plays Shimon Michonne in The Walking Dead. She's leaving this season or next season, and so she'll be gone. And I really don't know if there's any other black actors who are willing to do or play in this subgenre. For some reason, we don't have that many black actresses that be in this particular subgenre. But we will say that as far as Naomie Harris is concerned, she did a great job in 28 weeks, 28 days later, and she should be respected as one of the black final girls who survived the viral outbreak attack. Because some of the other viral outbreak attacks I've seen, they're not that good, and unfortunately we don't have final black girl on any of those. If we do, please let me know in the comment section. But as far as Naomie Harris is concerned, she does be respected as a black final girl who actually survived a viral outbreak. So, my horror fans, what do you think about Naomie Harris? What did you think about her performance in 28 Days Later? Leave your comments down in the comment section below and tell me what you thought about her performance and her participation in being a black final girl. So, my horror fans, that's my video for today, guys. Hope you did enjoy it. And if you did, please give it a thumbs up, like, and share. Also, if you're new here, please hit that subscriber button and ring that notification bell. That way you'll be notified anytime when I put up new videos such as this one. Also, stay tuned tomorrow for my live stream with my good friend R.S. Lewis. She is the drunken insomniatic writer. We're going to be talking about other final black girls on my live stream tomorrow, including with Naomie Harris, Santa Lathan, Jada Pinkett Smith. There's some actually one I haven't gone over with was oh boy, my mind is going crazy. Al Berry. Al Berry and Gothica. And I'm pretty sure there's some other final girls that we'll be talking about too. So again, that is tomorrow at 8 p.m. Make sure that you stay tuned for my live stream tomorrow with my good friend R.S. Lewis. Once again, my name is Lamont Smith, better known as the Horror Miser Monty G. And always remember, horror rules. I'll see you in my next video. I'm out.
It's back in the saddle again.